Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Exo Heroes video. Today we are going to be talking about string of creation, and we're going to be doing a little bit of a review of all of these string of creations and talking about how you should prioritize them as a new player or even a vet coming into looking at which ones are the highest value, and we'll be giving our rationale for why in a little bit.
Yeah, so before we even jump into the discussion part, I think we need to, especially for the newer players out there, we want to just to tell you guys a little bit about how string of creation works. And for those who knows about the string of creation mechanisms, then feel free to jump ahead. We'll be talking about, the disadvantage and advantage of string of creation a little bit later. And the second half of the video is going to be focusing on which string of creation offers the best value. So if you want to jump ahead, feel free. But for the newer players, let's take a look at the mechanism first. So starting out, the string of creation concept is very similar to our regular recruiting. So you spend 700 XCs and then you get to summon for 10 heroes. So a few things we want to point out here is, one, the string of creation has a total of 500 heroes in a single pool of heroes. And the heroes within this pool ranges from 1 star to 5 stars with 3 special fate cores. So total adds up to 500. And you have some certain heroes with duplicates. So we did a quick look through all the different string of creations. Typically you have the 3 special fate cores. Well, typically all of them have the 3 special fate cores, with one of them being a gold fate core. That's the banner one, right? And then you have 5 fated heroes. Typically, you have 1 or 2 and sometimes 3 copies of each. So generally we see a total of 10 fated heroes. And then there's typically 9 legendary heroes that has around 4 copies each for a total of around 36. And then there's going to be a bunch of rare heroes, 4 in total. Each one of them comes with 44 copies or 43 copies for a total of about 175. 6 magical heroes with 35 copies each for a total of 210. And then you have 4 common heroes, 17 copies each for a total of 68. So if you add all that up together, that gets you 500 heroes. Meaning that the chance of you summoning the target fate core is 1 out of 500 or 0.2% chance. So when we think about this is actually pretty nice because the overall possibility of getting this fate core is a little bit lower than the fate core chance increase banners that we typically get. And those are generally, I would say, 0.7%, I think, is the chance for getting the fate core. But given that these heroes are, highly coveted heroes that are probably never going to go on those fate core chance increase banners, means the chance of you getting them from the string of creation is the best chance that you ever get. Because if you want to get them from just a regular premium recruit banner, the chance of that is much, much lower, which comes in at about 0.025% chance. So here you're looking at almost 10 times the value of that. So it's pretty good. And lastly, on the mechanism front, we just want to point out that how it works is each time when you summon a copy of a hero, that copy is forever removed from the pool. So what you end up having is less number of heroes left in the overall pool, and the chance of you getting a specific target increases after that. And of course, at the end of it, you're guaranteed to get the fate core once you have summoned all the heroes, right? So there's a PD system in there. But hopefully for anyone who goes for string of creation, you get who you're looking for before that. But now with the mechanism finished, I'll turn it over back to Edward and have him talk a little bit about the disadvantages and advantages of string of creation, especially in comparison to regular fate core chance increase banners.
Right, so the advantages and disadvantages of summoning through string of creation. So let's go through the disadvantages first. The first one is you don't get the bonus 1 hero that you do through premium recruitment or the fate core banners, because those come with the +1 when you use the 700 XCs or Zes. So you're going to be missing out on a little bit of value there. You also don't get the guaranteed legendary per pull, which, obviously is a benefit, especially for newer players. And because string of creation is limited to those 500 heroes in that particular string, you might not get a chance of getting other heroes that you might want. Now, some advantages. You get some of the best heroes in the game that are in string of creation. People like, FC Bathory, FC Rudley. I mean, honestly, all of them are really good. So definitely don't feel shy about pulling on any of them. It's a lot of value for each of the banner heroes. You're also guaranteed to get the banner fate core by the end, so it's basically like one giant pity system. And the chance of you getting the target fate core is significantly higher than through premium recruitment. Given that we might not ever see these fate cores on a fate core chance increase banner, this will probably give you the best odds of getting the FC that you're targeting. So now, why don't we take a look at how you should prioritize the strings and which one gives you the most value?
Yeah, and I think before we even jump into that, one thing it's worth pointing out is, we have this priority list. On some of these, string of creations, we really don't feel like they offer that much value. But that's by no means us saying that some of the heroes are terrible. As we'll see in a little bit, we're not super high on FC Garv string of creation, but that is not to say that FC Garv is bad. We really think he's a very, very good hero, but as we'll be talking about in a little bit, string of creation is a substantial investment, and the value that you get in return needs to be worthwhile, and that's how we are judging which one to prioritize, right? So the ones that are higher on our list are the ones that we believe returns the most value to you. But with that being said, let's jump in. So starting from the bottom, we have FC Garv and FC Bathory. The issue with these two is, let's take a look at FC Garv, for example. Garv is a fantastic hero. He offers a lot of value, he's one of the best heroes in the game, and can be utilized across so many different areas of the game. However, when we're looking at FC Garv, we really don't think the Fate Core itself adds too much value to his already amazing kit. Unlike heroes such as Rira, such as Rutley, whose Fate Core really transforms them and really elevates them to the next level, and FC Jin also comes to mind. FC Garv is just a good to have, right? Like the base Garv is already amazing. It's good to have FC Garv on it just for that added survivability, but overall, it doesn't really change Garv all that much. Which means for a lot of us out there, if we can get Garv from just a random banner pull or a random premium recruit, that already serves most of the value. The fact that we have to invest so much into string of creation just to get his Fate Core, it's hard to justify that investment. And secondly, if you look at the rest of the special products here, we have FC Lungan and FC Brook. And frankly, compared to some of the other black FCs in the other strings, these two are just so subpar. If you think about some of the other string of creations that has FC Annie in it, FC Lepin, FC Diva, when you get FC Lungan or FC Brook, it just feels bad. So overall, the total value that this string offers is just not that great, right? FC Garv, not too much better than just regular Garv. And then Lugan and Brook feels quite underwhelming. So we really can't recommend FC Garv all that much. This string of creation feels like a trap, definitely stay away. Just try to get regular Garv from regular summons and hero recruits, things like that. Don't worry too much about this. And a similar concept also applies to FC Bathory as well. FC Bathory or Bathory really isn't too much of an upgrade to just a regular Bathory, which is already one of the best hero in the game. If you have her, you should be more than satisfied and just stay with that. And if you look at the other two black FC in this lineup, it's also not really that good. I think we have FC Emma and FC Reed Marie. Both are very subpar in my opinion. FC Reed Marie, it's not bad. FC Emma, probably the worst fated FC I have ever seen. Maybe just slightly better than FC Bernabas. So yeah, both FC Garv string of creation as well as FC Bathory string of creation, feel free to stay away from those two because to us, compared to the rest of string of creations, definitely doesn't offer that much value. But with that being said, let's move on to the next two, what we consider as mediocre ones, and I'll let Edward to talk a little bit more about those.
So starting us off in the mediocre tier, we have FC Rachel. And FC Rachel is, in our opinion, a pretty strong hero on his own, right? We pulled him and we're very excited to have him, but not through his string of creation as, we just don't think he's worth the value, as some of the other gold FCs will mention higher up in our list. In addition, the black FCs are also mediocre in this list. FC Otard is not bad, and she does get damage buffs on her abilities, so she's pretty heavy hitting, both single target and AoE. But FC Shao Kahn is just, if you've watched our videos in the past, you know how we feel about Shao Kahn. he's really just not quite there. And if you're looking for damage dealers, definitely go for one of the other FCs we'll mention at the top of our list, FC Rudley. And so we'll be talking about him in a little bit, but overall it seems like this string of creation is trying to give you a balance of defense and damage, but at the same time, Shotgun doesn't really give much of either. And if you're only pulling for just Rachel, we worry that the value might not be totally there for this FC. Now, the next one is Ulum, and it's a similar story here. FC Ulum is pretty good by itself, but has definitely fallen down the pecking order in their PvP meta currently. I mean, we're seeing a lot of FC Shufrakens, we're seeing a lot of FC Iris, the Summer Festa one, and so when it comes to the value that he provides currently, we just think that is a little bit lacking, so maybe a good hero to pull for later on, but just currently we can't recommend it. The other two FCs in this string, FC Bernavas and FC Valar, are both subpar. Bernavas in particular, his kit doesn't really make sense. He gets a passive that makes him a little bit tankier, but it's just not worth it, especially if you already have the base heroes for both of these, as we do. And now we're going to move up the list a little bit and talk about the two strings that we think are good value, and I'll let Hao take care of that.
That's right. So now we're looking at the next two, or the next three actually. So we have Xian, and then we have, we combine together both of the Banga Fate cores, so FC Tentalo and FC Jin. So let's focus on FC Xian first. FC Xian is a victim of recent meta change. And, if this video was made just a few weeks ago, FC Xian and this string of creation would be the top of the list, for sure. But the introduction of FC Iris has really diminished the usefulness of First Guardian heroes who are not FC Rerun. But nonetheless, this is still a pretty good set of heroes, so FC Xian definitely brings a decent amount of damage. He is a pretty good hero overall, and it can be used in a lot of areas, whether it's PvP or PvE. So not a bad hero to pull, and definitely, even though PvP areas he's falling down the pecking order a little bit, it's still a decent PvE hero to have. And obviously Anastasia is still one of the best support in the game, so getting her Fate Core version, the First Guardian version of Anastasia, is still a good value. Lastly, FC Baelish, not the best when it comes to the First Guardian heroes. You put FC Rira, Xian, all those heroes above him, but if you don't have any First Guardian heroes, he's a good substitute to put in as kind of a placeholder in the short time. So overall, this is a very solid list of heroes, whether you're looking for the Banner Gold Fate Core of Xian or just the other two Black Fate Cores. It's substantially better than all the other string of creations we have mentioned so far. So if you want to go for it, you don't really need to hesitate too much here. And also, the FC Xian banner tend to be the only one that is seasonal, right? So it's on sometimes, it's off other times. So take advantage when it is on, because you might be waiting for quite a while before it comes back again. And also, I think this is one of the fewer banners where all three of them are fated heroes. So that's another thing to watch out for. And now let's shift our attention to the two Banga string of creations. And recently we've just started our FC Jin string of creation. And we have to say, with the recent meta shift, the value of Banga heroes have certainly went up. Because in the past, they have been kind of overshadowed by the First Guardians. But now with First Guardians taking more of a backseat, the Banga FCs have more of an opportunity to shine. And we really believe when it comes to the Banga FCs, it's much better if you pair them together in order to really realize the true potential of the Heartstrike passive. Because Heartstrike, as we've talked about this many times before, is one passive that takes so much time to set up. So if you have 2 or 3 of them in the same lineup, that kind of eliminates the whole setup issue. And in terms of which one you want to pick, it's really a personal preference in this case. If you're looking for a more damage heavy selection, then go with FC Jin, because with that it comes with FC Adams, it comes with FC Hacken. So all 3 of them are good damage dealers, especially with Jin being a fated hero. He is one of the primary damage dealer in the game, so feel free to go with that if you're looking for DPS. But on the other hand, if you're looking for tanks, then the FC Tantalo string would be much better because you do get FC Tantalo, and I think you also get FC Luke as part of that line as well. So both of those are top tier tanks. FC Tantalo with his damage over time is fantastic when it comes to setting up for the hard strike, and FC Luke is just one of those solid pure tanks that you can find in the game. And he also comes with FC Morris, which many of you might have been overlooking him, but as a rare hero, his damage is really crazy. So if you want a string that's more balanced with a slight emphasis on frontline heroes, then go with FC Tantalo. But overall, we think these two string of creations are definitely up there in terms of value, and we can feel pretty comfortable recommending you guys to summon for these. One last thing we want to talk about is, if you do decide to go for the string of creation, we do think there's value in trying to get all 3 Fate Cores, because as we mentioned before, having multiple Banga family in the same lineup really allows you to realize the true potential of Hard Strike. So if you do decide to go for it, try your best to get all 3 if you can. But with that being said, let's move on to our top tier string of creations, and that's gonna be FC Shufraken and FC Rodley. And I will let Edward to talk a little bit more about why they are at the top of our list.
Right, so why don't we start out at number 2 in our priority list, and that's going to be Rudley. So in this string, all 3 of the FCs are great. It's not quite as balanced as Shufraken, which is why this takes second place, but all 3 of the FCs are DPS. Let's talk about the banner DPS first, right? Rudley, he is amazing. His FC is so good and can be used for just about every content in the game except for Upir's Labyrinth, certain stages where the boss is immune to physical and nature damage, which he is both, so that's kind of bad. But in all other content, I mean, FC Rudley is always great to bring. FC Annie, in case you guys don't know already, she is a staple right now in PvP. Her Burning Soul passive, that is the special passive she gets with this Fate Core, gives a huge buff to the highest speed member on her team, which, if you can pull all of these FCs, it might be FC Rudley or FC Diva, so there's definitely a lot of potential here for all 3 of these Fate Cores to pair up, or you could just get Annie and pair her with, your Bathory, your FC Rira, or whoever other damage dealer you have. Now, we would say that FC Annie, because she's so useful in buffing the actual main attack member of your team, this might actually be the main reason to pull on this string rather than Rudley, as she is critical to late game PvP success if you want to climb the ladder, and her utility in PvE is great too. Now, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Diva is the last of the 3 Fate Cores, and she's also the least attractive, but that's not to say that she's bad by any means. She's arguably one of the top 3 legendary Fate Cores, and a great DPS addition overall. Part of her Fate Core passive is that she doubles crit damage, so this is just huge as she has really good scaling on her abilities as well, so do not underestimate her as a damage threat. And I mean, there's a reason why this string is second place in priority, because all of these heroes are great, and if you could pull for all 3, I would highly recommend doing that. Now on to our number 1, Shufraken. This is a string where we absolutely think that you should pull for all 3 Fate Cores. All of them are amazing. Shufraken, FC Shufraken is PvP meta right now, and he has great usage in PvE as well. FC Baraka is a premier DPS, and he works really well with Rachel with the Dishearten passive, but even on his own, he deals huge damage. He's like a heavy-hitting Jhin, but with relatively higher mana cost as well, so definitely prioritize depending on your team comp. Now, FC Lepin is best in class among healers currently, and she's also the only healer with a revive that comes with a special passive with the FC, which is damage immunity for 1 turn. Her A1 also grants an ally a turn reset, which, I mean, that's as ridiculous as it sounds. So she has great value again in PvE and PvP content. This is definitely the most balanced string, with a tank in Shufraken, a DPS in Baraka, and a support in Lepin. So if you can grab all 3, there's tons of value in all types of content. And I mean, right now, it's just the perfect meta for FC Shufraken, so we definitely recommend that as our number 1 spot.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think, with FC Shufraken, one of the things is that we can really recommend this stream to just about everyone, right? For the newer players, go for them as all 3 Fate cores offers great value throughout the entirety of the game. And because how balanced it is, you're not missing out on anything, right? Where with FC Rotley, even though all 3 Fate cores are also good, but you're only really getting damage dealers, right? So for a lot of newer players, you really want to have that balance. And for the late game veterans out there, FC Shufraken is amazing. He's someone who's going to transcend your squad. FC Baraka still has fantastic value, especially during tag team weeks. You know, he might not be your primary damage dealer if you have FC Rira, but he's up there. He's very much up there. And FC Lepine, as Edward mentioned earlier, just a great hero overall. And out of all the supports out there, other than FC Anastasia, like who else can we say for sure is better? So overall, this is our list of String of Creations. We really believe that you have to be very careful when summoning for String of Creations because it is a huge drain of your resources, right? And you definitely don't want to fall into kind of the sunk cost mentality where you start something, you spend so much resources and you're just like, oh, I need to get it at this point. I've already put in so much. So make sure before you start out a string, think about what Fate Core you need the most to complete your team. But be careful with your decisions. For a lot of the players out there who wants to, finish their collection, who has most of the other heroes already recruited and just missing a couple of heroes, then yeah, sure, like go ahead and summon for whichever one you're missing, right? But for most of us who are still looking to complete our lineup, for most of those new players, be very, very careful when it comes to which string you're pulling, and definitely take a look at our list in the future if you have to again before you make those decisions. But with that being said, hopefully this is a helpful video. Recently there are a lot of viewers reach out to us talking about like, oh, can you guys recommend which string of creation to go for next? So there definitely seems to be a high demand for this area, and we hope this video answer some of your questions. If you do have a different opinion, please leave them in the comment section down below. We would love to have a little bit of discussion going on here. But otherwise, if you're looking for other Exos hero related videos, feel free to check out the rest of our content, and we will see you in the next episode very soon. Bye bye.
Peace.